A very good morning, students. Today we are going to start with the next topic of your chapter number 1, that is the scope of statistics. Basically, the scope of any study refers to the field of study or the area of study, which means that whatever we are going to study under that subject. So, we will study the scope of statistics under three parameters, that is nature of statistics, subject matter of statistics, and limitations of statistics. We will study each parameter individually, and among that the first one is the nature of statistics. So under this parameter of the scope of statistics, we will come to know about that what kind of nature is that of the statistics. Is that a science or an art? But a famous professor known as Professor Tippett has rightly said that statistics is both a science as well as an art. Now, how we can say that statistics is a science or an art? Because as a science, it studies numerical data in a scientific or systematic manner, which means that if we study statistics as a science, it will mainly relate to the numerical data which we will study in a systematic manner, which we have also studied as a feature of statistics, which means that we follow a certain procedure in which we collect data, then we will organize or classify the data, present the data, and further will analyze or interpret the data, which means we are following a certain procedure. Like in science, a certain set of practices is followed. So therefore, statistics is a science. Now, how it is an art? As an art, it relates quantitative data to real life problems. So if we want to relate our real life problems, or we want to relate any problem related to an economy, we can study it through statistics. Let it be the problem of poverty, the problem of unemployment, the problem of inflation or deflation, or the problem of, you can say that, decreasing GDP growth. All this we can study with the help of the statistics. For example, if I have to collect the data about the poverty of a certain country. Now, what is poverty? Poverty basically refers to the ones who are refers to the people who are not even able to fulfill their basic necessities. So, firstly, I will collect the data about the number of the people who are not able to satisfy their basic necessities. After that, I will classify or tabulate the data and present the data in a certain form from which I will take out the conclusions. So like this, we can say that statistics is an art as well, because it relates to the real life problems in which we present the quantitative data in a certain manner. Therefore, we say that statistics is both a science as well as an art. So this comes under the nature of statistics. Next parameter to be studied under the scope of statistics is subject matter of statistics. Now, subject matter of statistics includes the type of statistics. Basically, there are two types of statistics. The first one is the descriptive statistics and another one is the inferential statistics. You must be very much clear with the difference between the two. First, we will study the descriptive statistics. It refers to the methods which are used for collection, presentation, and analysis of data to understand the specific set of observations for a group of study. Which means that in descriptive statistics, we will use certain methods which will include the collection of data, presentation of data, and analysis of data, from which we will make out some observations or conclusions for a group of study. Basically, for example, if I want to study or collect the data about the average height of my class, of the students of my class, what I will do, I will record the height of each and every student of my class. That is the group of study, that is the number of students in my class. Let's say it is 30 students. So I will record the height of 30 students of my class, and after that will present the data and analyze the data to understand some specific set of observations. And the tools used under descriptive statistics are mean, median, dispersion, etc. These are some of the tools which we will study under the descriptive statistics, and this type of statistics is a part of your grade 11 syllabus. So all these tools and more than this we will study in this book. The another one comes here is the inferential statistics. From the name itself is clear, in which we will make some inferences or the conclusions based on a certain sample. So beforehand you must be clear about the difference between the population and the sample. Now the population refers to all the items or units of a certain area from which I have to make certain conclusions. For example, I have taken like there are 30 students in my class and I have to take out the average height of my students. So if I am talking about all the 30 students, that is the population of study. But if I will take 10 students out of those 30 students for measuring the average height of the students of my class, those 10 students will be known as the sample which are taken out of the population of 30 students. So therefore in inferential statistics, it refers to the methods through which conclusions are drawn or inferences are made about the large population based on a sample drawn from that population. So if I will take out the average height of my class from only 10 students out of 30 students, what I will do, I will base my result related to the population, but it will be based on the sample that is of 10 students. If suppose the average height of the 10 students come out to be 5 feet 5 inches, so I will make out the conclusion that the average height of the whole class, that is of 30 students, is 5 feet 5 inches. So this is what we study under the inferential statistics. The tools used under this is hypothesis test, regression analysis, but this kind of statistical study is not in your syllabus of grade 11. So what we will study in your grade 11th is descriptive statistics, in which we will try to understand how we will take out the specific set of observations from the whole population or for a group of study. And the methods which or the tools which we will use is mean, median, that is the central tendency, dispersion, correlation, index numbers. So these are the tools which will be used under the descriptive statistics. But on the other hand, in inferential statistics, we take out a sample, and from that sample we will make out the conclusions for the whole population. But this kind of statistics is not in the syllabus of your grade 11th. Now I will give you certain example from which you will be very much clear with what is descriptive statistics and what is inferential statistics. Now here I have tried to explain you the type of statistics with the help of certain examples. Now under descriptive statistics, we have taken the example like, suppose we want to describe the test scores in a specific class of 50 students. What we will do for that? We will record all the test scores and calculate the summary statistics and produce graphs, which means that if I want to collect if I want to make out the result of the students of my class of 50 students, what I will do? I will record the test scores of all the students of my class, that is of the whole population, and then will take out the summary statistics of those students and will produce the graphs which will help me in the comparison of the marks of the certain students. So in this I will make study of all the 50 students of my class, which will come under the descriptive statistics. But on the other hand, if we talk about inferential statistics, I will take the same example like, now we want to describe the test score of grade 11th in our school. Now grade 11th may include any stream like commerce, arts, medical, non-medical. So there comes large population in this type of example. So what we will do in this case, we will define our population as grade 11 student. That is the first step under inferential statistics is to define the population. That is what kind of population is involved in your study. So in my study I have taken grade 11 students as my population, and what I will do, I will take out some random samples from the population. That is, if there are 4 streams, I will take like 5 students from each stream as my sample. Now for say there are total 200 students in all the streams of grade 11. that is 50 in each stream. So what I will do, I will take out 5 or 10 students each from every stream and will take them as my samples. So over here in the example, I have taken 100 students as the sample out of 200. So what I will do, I will draw conclusions based on those samples. So what I will do is, I will study these 100 students and will make out the average score of all the population of all the students of grade 11 based on these 100 students. So this was the inferential statistics, in which we have taken out the samples from the population, but under the descriptive statistics we will study the whole population, that is each and every unit of the population. So this was all about the descriptive statistics and inferential statistics. This topic is only for your basic understanding. You just have to go through the definition of these type of statistics, because we are going to study only the tools under the descriptive statistics, which we will study in the further chapters. So now we will start with the next parameter of the scope of statistics, that is the limitations of statistics. Now what do you mean by limitations? Limitations are basically the constraints or the drawbacks of certain factor. Now over here, the first limitation of statistics is that it is the study of numerical facts only, which means that under statistics we are able to record only the numerical facts or the quantitative data, but we cannot record the qualitative data under the statistics. For example, if I want to study some qualitative factors like the honesty, wisdom, justice, etc., we cannot study these kind of parameters under the statistics, because only numerical facts or the quantitative data is included in statistics. As this we have studied in the features of statistics also. Now second one is the study of aggregates only. As we know, in statistics we can only study the aggregates or we cannot study the facts related to a particular unit. For example, if I say the weight of Mr. A is 65 kgs, but this data is not of any significance because it relates to an individual unit. As we know, in statistics we have to study the aggregates, that is, I must know the weights of more individuals so that I can make out the conclusions out of that by either comparing the weights of various individuals which I have collected the data about, or by drawing some kind of conclusions from that data. So this is also one of the limitation of statistics. Next comes under this is homogeneity of data and essential requirement, which means that under statistics whichever data we are collecting must be homogeneous in nature. Homogeneous over here means that of same quality, that is of same quality or same units. For example, the production of milk cannot be compared with the production of food grains, as the food grains are measured in tons and the milk is measured in liters or milliliters. So the units of both the products are different, because of which I cannot compare or draw any conclusion from that, because of which the homogeneity of data or the uniformity of data is very much essential. So sometimes it becomes a limitation for our study. Now next one is results are true only on an average. For this I will give you a very simple example. For example, if I say that the average daily consumption expenditure made by the people living in Mumbai is rupees 10,000, but that doesn't mean that each and every individual who is living in Mumbai is spending rupees 10,000 on daily basis. So therefore we say that results are true only on an average in statistics. These results are not always valid under all the conditions. Now next limitation is without reference results may prove to be wrong. For this also we will take a very simple example. Let's say there are two firms, firm A and firm B, and I have taken an example in which there are 3 years and I have recorded the profits of both the firms for year 1, year 2 and year 3. Firstly, let's talk about firm A. The profit of firm A in year 1 was rupees 1000. in the next year rupees 2000, and in the third year it was rupees 3000, which became a total of rupees 6000. That is, the profits year by year were increasing for firm A. On the other hand, for firm B, the profits were decreasing. That is, in year 1 their profits were rupees 3000, then rupees 2000, and in the third year it were rupees 1000, and the total came out to be 6000. Now, how we used to calculate the average or the mean? We will calculate the average profits by dividing the total by the number of years. That is, 6000 by 3 is equal to the 2000, which came out to be same for both the firms. But by looking towards this average, we may not come to know about that the firm A is increasing its profits year by year, but on the other hand firm B is decreasing its profit year by year. That is, this firm may move towards the losses. But if we talk about only the averages, if we don't see the data but only the averages, we will come to know that both the firms are on the same level, which is a wrong conclusion. Therefore, it is one of the limitations of statistics that without reference results may prove out to be wrong, because at the last in the interpretation we will only record that both the firms are having the same profits or same average profits. We will not be having the references that firm A is in an increasing stage of profits but firm B is in the decreasing stage of profits or in the losses. So this is explanation of the limitation of statistics, that without reference results may prove to be wrong. The next point of limitation is that it can be used only by experts. That is, if a person is not expert in the field of statistics, he cannot make use of it, because as we know, statistics is a science for which we must know about some rules or about some technical points which are included in the statistics. So therefore, statistics cannot be used by an inexpert individual who is not having knowledge about the subject or about the techniques, tools or methods being used in the statistics. Now, last point under the limitations of statistics is prone to misuse, which means that anyone can misuse the statistics by drawing out wrong conclusions from it or by modifying the data which is collected by a certain individual. As it is said by a very famous statistician that statistics are like clay by which you can make a god or a devil as you please, which means that we can modify that clay, or that clay is compared to the statistics which can be modified according to our need or according to the conclusions which we need to make for a certain study. Therefore, it is prone to misuse. So these were all about the limitations of statistics, and in this video we have studied about the scope of statistics, in which we studied 3 parameters. The first one was the nature of statistics, second one was the subject matter of statistics, in which we studied about descriptive statistics and inferential statistics, and the last one is the limitation of statistics, under which we studied these 7 points. I hope all these concepts are very much clear to all of you. Thank you so much.